middle of grade school, all my friends would be talking about, oh yeah, well my parents do this, and they watch TV after dinner, and I go, oh well, my mom after dinner, she goes and cleans her guns and makes some bullets.
Our sport is racing with firearms, but it's really not about the, well, to paraphrase Lance Armstrong, where he says it's not about the bike. For us, it's not about the gun. We are in a sport where we're attempting to set goals, work really hard to be the absolute best we can, and then see if we can deliver the best we can when it counts on race day.
Learning how to shoot and shooting in competition is a very interesting journey for me. I went from competing in bullseye to silhouette. And then my husband thought, hey, you know, IPSC, which is IPSC, is like a running gun game. I went to matches that is in the East Coast. It was very intimidating to go into a new setting by myself. I found the competition and go to the match, finish the match. Those days I was training for match nerves. Little did I know that it's going to pay off in big time.
When she first married Carlos, I remember Carlos told me, oh, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do just
play with her.
Play with me. Be my companion in, you know,
everything I do.
Everything I do. So they ski, they boating, they water sports and everything. You know, all of a sudden she discovered she has this talent and she's on her own.
Yeah.
To me, I remember it was an incident when we had a major earthquake. There was no 911. The whole thing was down. We were pretty much on our own. Vera has to look after my dad and take care of the two kids. And she's all by herself with me gone. So we felt maybe a gun will give her some protections. That's when she started taking up shooting.
This woman came up to me and she says, well, I heard about you and I'd like to know if you'd give me lessons. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I'm very, very busy and I don't take students. He started showing up at the range and said, do you mind if I watch you practice? I said, fine. Then she said, well, may I watch you practice? May I ask you questions while you practice? I said, okay, sure, go ahead. It turns out, may I share the range, ask you questions, and shoot with you. From those humble beginnings to become one of the best women shooters in the history of the sport is really, really phenomenal. When it's all said and done, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It only matters what you shoot, your score, and see how you end up on the final list. And a lot of men have to bite their egos because this very, very petite, kind, nice Chinese woman is just basically, well, I don't know any other kinder way to say this, but kicking their butts.
I could tell immediately that she was really motivated to do this and that she was willing to put in whatever effort was necessary to achieve her goals. Vera has evolved over the last few years into the top-ranked woman action shooter in the world, actually. She competes against women from all around the world in the Bianchi Cup, and she's proved over the last few years that she's at the top, probably the top 90% overall at a match. That's including the men. She really, a woman really can't compete for first overall in these matches. Well, she can try, but they're just not quite physically up to the task that men are. Men are just, blessed with some things, and women are blessed with other things. But Vera is as tough mentally as any man that walks on the range.
This is in New Zealand for the World Shoot. This is the team. This is when I was still doing IPSC. And my daughter, Shane, Christina, Austin, when he was small.
I didn't really notice when my mom was really serious about shooting until, looking at it in hindsight. It happened when she won her world title. She called me and said, oh yeah, I'm sorry I missed your birthday, but I'm the #1 woman at the shoot-off in Colorado. We could share in her victories, but when it came down to the seriousness of competition, we were always kept at a distance because For my mother, it was almost tradition for her to never have the family there for a competition because she doesn't want to be distracted.
Now she's focused on shooting the 1920, shooting for perfection. And as part of that, to break things up, she's shooting other disciplines. She just has decided to shoot the Masters, which is a match that was originally designed to see who can be the best handgun shooter of all. It involves the Accuracy 22 event, which is basically a bullseye shooter event, the Silhouette or long range event, which is pretty much designed for metallic silhouette shooters out to 200 yards. And then there is the action event, which is a speed event. It's a new adventure for her, and she will achieve, I have no doubt that she will achieve her goals in that or whatever she tries to do.
Now that's a 38 Super. 38 Super is a competitive load. It's somewhere between a 9mm and 45. This is a 22. It's not a laser, it's electronic optics. You put the red dot on the target and you shoot, but you can miss the target just as easy like you're using a regular gun with iron sight. Today I have 6 guns. I thought I was going to be out there sweating. You see there's a tag here. This is the airline. The desk personnel has to check the gun, make sure it's unloaded, and it's not, and then she has to put a tag like this in the case. You see this suitcase also have the similar pictures that show that I'm a professional competitor. This is a single action built on the Remington XP100 frame. This is the frame, and it's a custom barrel. This is a halfway between a rifle and a pistol scope. This one is going to be a match gun for me. It's my favorite. I double check again, make sure there's not a round in the chamber. I put the hammer down. This is the bullets for the steel and accuracy shooting for the steel plates. They're all custom loaded to the specs of the gun. These are the shells from the long range with the tip and everything. It looks like a rifle cartridge. I was told I had to hold this gun up for 3 months every day. Ooh. Ah. I was so afraid of handguns, and I could never remember how to load and unload. You know, basically, I don't use a gun, I just don't remember. And then I finally thought, by not knowing, it's actually more dangerous, so I decided to take the class. It ended up to be a 2-year education for me because I first set up small goals, like I want to be the best woman shooter. At the beginning, my second goal was to become the best handgun shooter in the class. That was rather difficult because the men shooters are much more experienced. They already know how to shoot when they first come to class. So it took me a little while to get up there. But at the end of the 2 years, I was the best shooter in the class. 22 practice requires so much concentration. You get tired after 200 rounds. And the minute your concentration goes away, you have to stop. Otherwise, you'll be building up bad habits. This event, I have to see very clearly, you know. So, as a matter of fact, maybe I should put some oil on this gun. At the beginning, people don't take you very seriously. You know, they just think you're coming over just to plink a little bit, maybe socialize. I understand. I just have to go over the hurdle of being a woman, especially an Oriental woman, a small-sized person like me, an older one too at that. I have had people who lecture me on firearm safeties. It was not important how I was treated because I had bigger plans for myself. I was just gonna have a good sport and beat him. Anyway, it was not very hard. I'll do whatever it takes to learn the sport. Good shot. A lot of people, a lot of my friends would ask me, when are you going to stop shooting, Vera? And just recently I found it odd to even hear that because, you know, it's not like once I'm asked that question, why do I need to stop? And for whom?
The long-range gun that Vera's shooting is came about up here. Oh,
Going hot.
we're gonna get noisy here. Met Vera at another pistol match called the Bianchi Cup quite a few years ago, and I have seen her there for a number of years, and mostly just to say hello to. And she seems to be quite a private person, in as much as that a lot of times she doesn't seem to hang out too much with any of the other shooters. It's not that she's standoffish or anything like that. I think she just wants to be by herself and think of what she wants to think about. About 2 years ago, she had expressed interest in learning how to shoot this pistol match. She was not used to using rifle-type scopes, where your eye has to be in exactly the right position behind the scope, otherwise you're not going to see anything in it. She told me this year that she has practiced on it, and now it's a whole lot easier for her to find her target.
Come down slowly. You gotta come down slowly. I gotta practice right next to him. I will feel like a snail. This is Doug Koenig, the best in the world, the best men's shooter in the world, the best shooter in the world.
This is the second year she's come to the Masters, and I think she's still on that learning curve. There's a lot to learn here, a lot of equipment, a lot of preparation, and I can see her from last year really moving forward. And I think it's exciting for her because it's a new game, a lot of things to learn, and a lot of things to be a part of.
I could have practiced for another hour. I want to, but that's probably what makes the sport enduring for me, is because I really look forward to practice. I don't seem to get enough practice. I always feel that I need more, but this is the 11th hour. Any more practice is not going to make me any better. Actually, today worked out really good. I get to come back and clean this gun. Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't a Christian before, but I got baptized last year.
Okay.
Through the game of competition, I found God.
Very good.
Yeah. So then I realized it was never about shooting. It was never about anything like shooting. Are you for real, God? The first time I asked that question was at my first Bianchi match. And I kneeled down and prayed, and I said, God, you give me some sign that you exist. I performed so brilliantly. I break the world's record for women. That was beyond what I could practice. I just knew that it was not me out there performing. I came to believe that you have to compete almost on a spiritual level, because 95% is mental. is like on a plane of emptiness, but with total awareness, and yet no thoughts can enter. That is the place I perform at my personal best.
This is phase 1 of stage 1. You will engage 5 large targets, 25 meters, 60 seconds. Engage with a small target, 25 meters.
Next year, Vera Koo move to stage 1. Stage 1, ready? Stand by.
Gears ready. Stand by.
Just by going through the match is really, really tough. A lot of suffering, a lot of work. You become emotionally stronger. It's about learning a lot of life skills. And I want to pass that information on to other women. It doesn't have to be shooting, you know, almost anything. Stepping out and doing something different instead of doing the same thing, you know, like what you prescribed to do from the time you were a little girl or a little boy. Just step out of the box, try something new. There's so much to learn in this world. I mean, you know, that is the big bonus in living.